Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Good, I hope. I'm doing grand. Thank you for asking. Dope shit, dope shit. All right, so I guess I'll just get right into it. Just a little recap, like of what I was talking about last time, right? I was talking about my dad died, and then I started having this spiritual awakening or whatnot, and these feelings and these realizations and these aha moments in my life, and questioning things and feeling uncomfortable in places that I used to feel comfortable in, and even feeling mentally and physically uncomfortable. So that's where I kind of left off at. And yeah, so when you have a spiritual awakening, or when you have a moment of clarity in your life where you're transitioning to a different type of perception on the world, or where something triggered thought to where you question things that you believed prior, and now you're thinking to yourself, well, is that really how it works, or is that really how it goes? So you want to, you want to wake up. You know what I mean? You want to wake up and not necessarily be like woke, like Black Lives Matter. We're all woke walking around here, that grand rising bullshit. Excuse me. That shit gets on my fucking nerves, but that's another story. Oh my God, I can't stand old grand rising queen. I will literally block you. Not like you, but whoever that is that's talking to me like that. But anyhow, we're going on and on. Okay, so when you have a spiritual awakening, or when you wake up, or when you have your moment of clarity, like everything has to come new. Like everything must be brand new. Everything is going to get stripped away. Everything is going to be taken away if you resist, and everything is going to evolve into something that resembles the person that you're turning into, right? And I know this for a fact. So, okay, so after my dad died in June, I would say the first, and I could be off like with the sequence of these events, but they all did happen in this amount of time. So the first thing that I would say was a pretty traumatizing situation was, I guess, with my daughter. Okay, so my oldest daughter, she was dating a boy, right? And I caught them humping in my house, basically. They had their clothes on and shit, but they was humping. And so, of course, I was like, you gotta leave or whatever. You know what I mean? And I didn't even tell him at that moment that he couldn't come back. But then once he left, I told my daughter, like, he's not allowed back over here. And I told her, not because, and I believe she was 16 at the time, not because, you guys got caught humping, but he didn't apologize to me, that motherfucker. You know what I mean? He just walked straight up out this motherfucker and literally said bye to my husband. As a matter of fact, that nigga said bye. Motherfucker. And did not say, I apologize, Miss Stevens, for fucking humping your daughter in your motherfucking house. Because that's hella disrespectful. He was a white boy, but I don't think that really matters. Like, I mean, nigga. And so I was like, he's not allowed back over here, right? And so my daughter, obviously agreed. And so that was that. So I believe this is what happened next. Okay, so he was doing all kind of shit, right? The nigga brought flowers over and stuff. This is a little young man. So I see his mom somehow. I don't remember exactly how I got in contact with the mother, but I spoke with the mom somehow, and she was like hella, basically like, don't you stay at home all day and do nothing? You don't have a job? You just go on cruises and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, bitch, who told you that? You know what I mean? So obviously my daughter did. You feel me? So I was like, okay, she's still having conversations with these people. What's going on? So I had a conversation with her. I said, Kamora, I don't know what's going on with this situation, but you are forbidden to speak with this young man. You know what I mean? Now that there is public humiliation involved and you dragging my name, you got me fucked up. You know what I mean? The loyalty runs deep with me, and that's a big thing. So anyway, that happened, and, she was like, all right, she's not going to talk to the nigga no more. So shortly after my divorce got going or whatnot, we were there at the house. I had just got her a phone back. Like, she was the first day that she was allowed to have a phone again. This motherfucker is back talking to that nigga immediately. And I didn't even go through her phone. I was doing laundry and putting her clothes up. And the motherfucker had the phone sitting right there, and the motherfucker with the little motherfucker was like just binging it. Like, that shit, bing, 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 bing. I don't know when they was on Instagram. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, but I knew who the fuck it was immediately, right? So I just said, look, either you got to get up out my house or we got to go outside. You got to catch this fade, bruh. And I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to beat you like you never seen before because you just straight up disrespected me. You put my life in danger. You know what I mean, basically. So, oh, wait, I'm skipping a part because before that happened, the day after I told her that the nigga couldn't come over, right? The day after the humping incident happened, I was like, okay, well, he can't come back over, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay, well, I want to make myself a doctor's appointment. And so I said, okay, let's do that. You know what I mean? And so I never asked her what she needs to go seen for. She's getting seen. So anyway, she gets seen, blah, blah, blah. The next day, CPS knocks on my door. CP motherfucking S. You know what that stands for? Child Protective Services. Child motherfucking Protective Services, okay? I got 3 kids, not just this one little motherfucker that's causing all these headaches. And I'm running the daycare at the time, in my home. You know what I mean? With children that are, it's regulated by the city or the state or whatever. It's fucking, I'm licensed, you know what I mean? So this is a big deal to me. I could have lost a lot of, I would not have, because that wasn't my destiny. But that put me in a position, in her eyes, you know what I mean? She was being reckless and could have jeopardized my life. Anyway, so yeah, I'm explaining to the guy, like, no. He's like, okay, well, she told her doctor A, B, and C, and all you do is complain about your house being clean and blah, 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 and you don't give a fuck about the kids and da, 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 da. Okay, so clearly this is a rebuttal or a, some type of, get back because of the situation with the young man. Okay, so that was that. And then I got in contact with the mom somehow. And then I found out she was talking to the nigga still on my Obama phone. And then I told her I was gonna whoop her ass and she gotta get the fuck out, right? So that happened, and I made her move I made her move out. She left. Well, she went with my mom, but I knew that she was gonna be safe, obviously. But that wasn't the point. The point of it was, if you can go against me for a nigga, you ain't my family. You know what I mean? You're not my blood. You're not related to me. And I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. A lot of people feel controversial about my decision to do that. But as you can see right now, if you look on my page, Kimura's all up and down that motherfucker with nothing but good things, because it established something between us. You know what I mean? She knows that I'm solid. She knows I'm loyal. I'm her motherfucking mama. You know what I mean? You don't ever go against the grain for nobody. Nobody that's been loyal to you. And I don't care what nobody says. There's so many people in this world that are so fucking flaky and finicky and fucking full of shit. And it makes me upset, goddammit, because we shouldn't be like that. I mean, damn, you know what I mean? If somebody's loyal to you, be solid. You know what I'm saying? Give them what they give you. I don't know anybody that has a good story to say about somebody they really loved, if that makes sense. Like, I love this person and I just love them to the end. No, it's always, I love this person, then they fucking did me wrong, or they fucking did this, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's always some fuck shit from people that love, which is insane. So that was a lesson that I intended to teach my daughter when I kicked her out. You know what I mean? And yeah, she went and stayed with my mom for a little while, and it was a lot of shit going on at that time. But she eventually came home, and we're good now, and I love her to death. She's 19. I'm like literally my number one most proudest achievement. You know what I mean? And number 2 and 3 are my other children. You know, so it did not deteriorate our relationship. It did not create bad vibes between us. We do not funk, but it was out of love, because if I can't trust you, you can't live here. I can't trust you, you can't be around me, bruh. If I can't trust you, I can't trust you. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean, trust is number one, especially in my household. Nothing else matters but trust and respect. Like, everything else is negotiable. You know what I mean? As far as with my children. And I keep that like that because I want them to understand the importance of it. Because the lack of importance is so it's the norm. You know what I mean? I don't really see a lot of people that stand on business. I mean, is there anything that you could think of that you would die for? I can tell you what I would die for. I would die for my word. Can't nobody tell me anything or make me do anything that I don't want to do, or that I didn't say that I did, whatever. If I didn't say it, whatever the fuck, I did it, I didn't. I would die for that shit. You know what I mean? Like, my word is my bond. I will also die for my morals. Like, can't nobody money can't make me do shit. Can't nobody make me do nothing for money. I'll give you $1 billion if you slap somebody, If I want to slap that motherfucker, I will, but it's not going to be because of the money. You know what I mean? Money does not move me whatsoever. And that allows me to have a better, like, lifestyle, in my opinion, because I don't give a fuck. I don't care about what kind of car a nigga drive. People be showing me shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I don't give a fuck about that shit. You know, all my clothes came from DD's. Everything I own came from DD's. All my furniture came from the Goodwill. I am a broke ass, lovely living bitch. And I don't mean broke as in broke monetarily or financially. I mean broke as in I'm rich in something else. I'm rich in, like, love and spirituality, and you know what I mean? I can enjoy life in a way of appreciating things that don't have any value. I mean, in y'all eyes, because I don't have no Gucci belts. I don't have an iPhone. I don't have anything that I would consider to be, like, idolized by people that should be probably idolizing something else. And that's not to say that anybody's living their lifestyle incorrectly, but I'm a frugal bitch, and that's all I can say about that. And I like that about myself, because I'm not money doesn't move me. It doesn't impress me. So you got to give me something else. Like, so, you know, let me hear about your, you know, what you believe in, how you feel about yourself, what's going on with that, what's your relationship like with your children and your mother, and, you know, how do you treat people and how do you interact? And do you smoke, nigga? You got some weed on you? Because I'm really, oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I said I was gonna, like, show y'all how to smoke, like, roll some weed. I'm gonna do that next time because I forgot and I already wrote it. But anyway, okay, so what the fuck else? So remind you, this is all being stripped, like, of me, and things are happening around me swiftly and fastly, like, literally, like I said last time, from the span of from June to November. So, okay, that was one thing that was going on in my life at that time, Kimora. So then also, I was having I guess like a hostile environment type of situation in my home, you know what I mean, between me and my husband, my ex-husband, you know what I mean. At the time, a close friend of mine was working in my home. She was doing some work, like, cause she works from home, and like she was in transition when moving, so she was coming over, and she was like, honestly, I don't know if the situation would have went better or worse, but I believe that I'm grateful for her being there. That's all I can say about that. So this is like a 3-day thing, and I'm not gonna leave out any details. This is really what happened, motherfuckers. Y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. So, okay. On my car, I had some rims, right? So the potholes, like all the potholes was causing the rims to crack from the inside out. So it kept making my tires go flat. So I went and bought some new tires, or some new rims. I hated them, right? They made my car look like a Honda Civic. I wanted to take them back. They was just wiggity whack, right? And so my ex-husband at the time, mind you, he's never once even said, I don't like the rims. I don't want you to take the rims back. Keep the rims. He never said that, okay? You're stupid. You're stupid. Because I said I was going to take them back, right? Because I was getting my other rims back. They could put my cracked ones back. I'll put some fix-a-flat before I ride around looking like a Honda Civic. Okay? Anyhow, you're stupid. Why would you do that? Well, if you break down or if your tire goes flat, don't call me. This is my husband of, at that time, almost 11 years. You know what I mean? Telling me this. And again, I'm not telling my side of the story to, like, make anybody look like a bad guy or a good guy or a villain or, you know, a saint. Everybody struggles with their own shit. Everybody deals with things in their own fucking way. Everybody has their own perception of the way the world is. So what the people do to me is neither good nor bad to me. Like, of course I don't like to be treated bad. Of course I don't like to be ridiculed, but I don't give a fuck a lot. I don't give a fuck a lot. And my story, I still to this day hear people tell me, oh yeah, Keon said y'all broke up because of this and that. That nigga lying, bruh, on God. The nigga, point blank period, broke up because it was just, we just grew apart. And like his drinking had something to do with it. I think he had some shit going on inside of him that maybe he had some resentment towards me from some shit that happened in the past that we never worked out, but I tried. And I made an effort to get that out of him. But he is not able to communicate that because he's not good with like being vulnerable with his feelings because it makes him feel weak. And that's only an assumption. I think that's what most men struggle with, in my opinion. But anyhow, so I'm looking at him like, you know what? Okay, do you want me to keep the rims? Like, just say that. I guarantee you that's all I need to hear. And he's just like, nah, like, he made a big deal about it, right? So this was the first night, and so he packed all his shit. Like, and I'm not even, like, the day before that, we was fine. The day after that, this nigga packing all his shit and leaving. Okay, so I guess that he went to work. That next day, he called and said he was coming back, right? So he came back. I don't remember if he had moved all his shit back in or not. Maybe he did or maybe he didn't. I don't remember. But I'm in the room doing something. This nigga coming there talking about the motherfucking rims. I said, well, I'll be god motherfucking damn, nigga. Come on, bro. No. I don't want to hear that shit tonight. Let's not do that, right? And let's talk about it tomorrow when you haven't been drinking, right? So, no. The nigga brushes past me, bumped me on the shoulder hella hard. He has never, like, put his hands on me, never been aggressive towards me, never touched me, never said anything negative to me. That nigga's a quiet little young man, you know what I mean? And he's not little, he's a bigger guy, but I just meant that in a way of, like, sometimes he seems kind of little because he's closed off as fuck, you know what I mean? But anyway, I don't really know too much. Well, I don't know. I don't really talk to that nigga. But anyway, yeah, so I'm looking at this nigga like, is this nigga tripping? And he was like mumbling some stuff under his breath. Like, he was like very like agitated, you know what I mean? And I didn't understand where all of that was coming from. And I'm literally not leaving out a single thing, y'all. This is really what fucking happened. Okay, so then all of a sudden, the nigga packs all his shit and the nigga leaves again. I said, absolutely not, nigga. So, okay, you're playing games with me. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to change the locks. You know what I mean? I'm changing the locks. at that point, guys, I have been sleeping on the couch for 3 years anyway, and I'm not gonna say I was looking for a way out, but it ain't on me. You know what I mean? I would have stayed in that situation because I didn't really have a reason to leave. Like, Keon didn't do anything wrong to me for me to, but I was unhappy. I was not really unhappy because I was happy, like, in a sense of we were financially secure, like I had everything I needed. And there was an image that we had, the little black love bullshit, because it was a two-parent house. I do condone two-parent households, but I do not condone the image of it because it's not necessary. If it is, it is. If it ain't, it ain't. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, you know what I mean? Things don't work out, but sometimes it's worse to stay in it because then it's just worse. But anyhow, so I changed the locks. The nigga left. You know what I mean? That night, this was happened. This is a two thing. After 11 years, this nigga just tripped out over some rims and crashed out on me. And again, I don't know if that was really like the core reason, you know what I mean? But for whatever reason he was angry, it all evolved into that evening, you know what I mean, this time. And it was just weird. It was very, very weird. It was very unfamiliar. It was very like sudden and abrupt, you know what I mean? And that was that. That was literally that. So a couple of hours later, one of my friends called me and he's like, "Hey, you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." My friend Marco, well, my ex-friend, we're not really friends no more anymore. But anyway, so I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh yeah, Keon just called me." And he said, you know, he's walking around Sacramento with a gun, but he would never hurt you. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, no, I kind of gave him a rundown of what had just happened. And I was like, I don't know why he would call you and tell you that, but okay. So I called my mom. She didn't answer the phone. So basically, it was just me and the kids. Like, we just went to sleep or something. I don't even think I slept that night. Not one motherfucker, not from his side of the family or from my side of the family, called me. I had the kids. I had my kids, which are related to these motherfuckers as well. Not one motherfucker called me, except for DeMarco, to say, "You all right? What's going on? What's going on? You need anything? You got what's going on?" Even to be a nosy, gossipy ass motherfucker. Because, and this is just like kind of jumping ahead, every person that knew me and knew us, first of all, thought that he was paying all the bills. He was not. That's why I got to take my car when I left, because I hadn't paid the car note for 5 or 6 months before this all happened. I'm the responsible one. Not to say that he's irresponsible, but he wasn't paying all the bills, goddammit, because he had a job. Well, he drives a light rail. You know what I mean? Thank you, Boo. You like that? That's that neon green. I tried to do something for St. Patty's. No, I be trying to keep up with these kids. Whatever dye come out of the eye, I be like, let me get a little bit of that. I only got about 3 or 4 sacks of hair on the back and about 2 inches in the front, bitch. No, anyway, sorry. It's good to see you. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so, okay. That's that, right? That night is over. So the next day, I called my mom. She answers the phone. And I told her everything that happened. "Mom, you're not going to believe this. Blah, 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 blah." I gave her the whole story. She's just sitting there listening. Then she's like, "That's interesting because he called me last night." And I said, "Did he?" I said, "Well, I called you last night too. You didn't answer the phone." She said, "Well, yeah, it was late when you called." And I said, "Well, what did he say?" And she said, "Well, he just told me that he was walking around with a gun, but he would never hurt you." And I said, "Mom, my mother that birthed me out of her pussy, you didn't call your daughter that you gave birth to out of your pussy to tell her that her life could potentially be in danger because her nigga is walking around with a gun, but he would never hurt you, and the nigga was clearly drunk and all kind of shit. Oh, I didn't want to get in y'all business." Bitch, what the fuck you mean you didn't want to get in our business? Are you serious? I'm sorry. I don't mean to get all hostile. I did mean what I said, but I didn't mean for y'all to take it like that. But you got to understand the passion and the betrayal that I felt from this particular situation. And you know what this lady told me? I said, "Mom, I can't believe that." I said, he could have been on his way. He could have killed us. You know what I mean? And she said, "Well, that would have just been another life lesson learned for you." That's what she told me. That would have been, you see my eye twitch? That would have been another life lesson learned for you, Kiana. Huh? Okay, so that's one fucking thing. And then the next day, my son was talking to my sister, Jasmine, on the phone. And I'm like, what'd she say? Like, kind of eavesdropping. I heard her say something about Keon. And then come to find out, this nigga, Keon, is over at her house. Is over at my sister's house. Well, mind you, her husband and Keon are related. They're cousins. But, bitch, not only have you not called and checked on me knowing what the fuck is going on, but why would you not tell me that my husband is at your house? And you know what she said? I thought you knew. I thought you knew he was over here. I thought you knew. I'm sorry. Y'all, that shit is irritating. I'm sorry, but it just is. It can't nobody defend that, explain that, or make that make sense to me. You know what I mean? Especially because I've had prior issues with my mom in the past up until then. And my intuition was telling me something anyway, but I kept telling myself, like, that's my mom. You know what I mean? My blood mother. My motherfucking parent. You know what I mean? And no way that she could have these feelings about me. But when somebody is struggling with their own identity, when you can't be yourself around me because you got to act this way around Jasmine. When you come around me, you got to be this certain way. When it's around me, it's a good time. We talking about dicks and pussies and ass. And when you go to Jasmine, it's praise the Lord and don't cuss around her and come on, please. And so that means that you don't love yourself. So how could you possibly love me? And that is not to bash her because she struggles with her own things. People need to just get therapy, in my opinion. But I do not feel good about the way that she did me. You know what I mean? And that's only the first things. I forgave her after that. And there was 2 more incidents that recently led up to me just permanently discontinuing myself with her. Because the way that she acts, it is not a place of love. It's a place of, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever the evil stepmother had on the Cinderella. She got that shit. And it ain't as bad as that bitch had it. But she got it. She has it. And it seeps out of her pores. You can see it in her eyes. You know what I mean? She does not like the fact that life is different for me than it is for her. And I'm not saying that to say like she's jealous or anything, but I just know this for a fact. You know what I mean? And the same thing with my sister. That's why she doesn't let me see my nieces and my nephews. That's why she tells my daughter at her graduation, my daughter's graduating from high school, I leave, she tells my daughter, I'm so proud of you, Kimora. You're nothing like your mother. You'll never be nothing like your mother. And Kimora's like, what's wrong with my mom, bitch? Well, she left the bitch part out. And she's like, no, I'm just saying you're just nothing like her. And I wrote her this little text, and I'm like, yeah, you know, Jasmine, I don't know why you would tell my daughter that. And I was like, of course she's nothing like me, because I'm one of one, biatch. But she's a direct reflection of my parenting, and she's dope as fuck. And what does that have to do? And why would you, what do you feel about me that makes you feel like you need to tell her that? Kiana, I am done with you. I just want to leave. I just want you out of my life. I just want you out of my life. I've had enough. And I'm like, had enough of what? Can I get a clear, precise answer on why you telling my daughter some shit like that? I said, well, you know what? Just please don't feel the need to do that anymore, because that's not necessary. You know what I mean? We got it over here. You know what I mean? And I just wish you the best. And I actually eventually apologized to her, you know, for that. And then she did some more hoe ass shit. You know what I mean? They are some hoe ass motherfuckers. I ain't trying to be funny, and God forgive me because I'm feeling some type of way. But that's some hoe shit, bruh. Because I didn't do shit to deserve it. And I ain't no victim in none of my stories. I know how to admit when I'm wrong. Accountability is my motherfucking cousin. I do not deserve the treatment that these people have treated me this way, because I like to live my life differently. I live a secular lifestyle. I celebrate Halloween, and I motherfucking listen to E40 and some more shit. Just all kind of fucking crazy ass shit. So that gives you the right, well, it does, because that's her kids, but to cut my niece and nephews off of me completely. Like, I ain't seen them. I don't have nothing to do with them. Like, in years. I got their number. I ain't gonna lie. I text them and tell them I love them every now and then. But I could just tell, like, what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, they used to always want to come stay over, but they would ask and they stay over and they would get hit. Don't stop asking me that. And then she would look at me and be like, are you mad, Kiana? Are you mad because they can't stay? And I'm like, no. Why would I be mad? They'll be grown soon. My niece, one time, I went over to visit my sister. I get home. My niece is in my trunk, y'all. In my trunk, because she wanted to come over and hang out with us so bad. You know what I mean? My niece is in the motherfucking trunk. You know what I mean? And I am exposing this and I'm putting this out there because this is how I really fucking feel. You know what I mean? It's weird. Can anybody attest to that? Or is there something wrong with me? Because no matter... And these are Christians, okay? These are Christian people that believe in the word of God. Jasmine is the Christianist motherfucking Christianity. If anybody know Jasmine, she's the epitome. She's a Christian, okay? And I ain't saying nothing wrong with being a Christian, but God is not that. God, she looks down on me. You know what I mean? She doesn't want me around her because one time I went to her birthday and she basically telling me, can you be quiet? And then the next day she's like, I forgot her wording basically, but she's just basically like, you ain't invited to shit else because I don't like hanging around with you. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, damn, bitch. Like, anytime I invite her, it's bad. I have no relationship with her at all. Despite my many attempts to rectify our relationship, despite my many attempts to just overlook all the judgment and the casting, like all of that shit. You know what I mean? Because you cannot say that you love somebody unconditionally from God's point of view if you're able to look down on them and cast them out and throw them to the wolves and separate yourself from them, because God is inclusion. God is love. God doesn't give a fuck about what you got going on in your personal life. All he cares about is, can you love? Can we love? Can we love? Well, this is my God. This ain't y'all's. I know. So, but this is my analogy because it makes me feel better. And I believe it to be true because I've seen it work. And I believe it to be true because I'm a living testimony of it. God told me this. I mean, I ain't crazy, but I have my intuition, and I know people speak with God. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. God told me that I'm perfect just the way I am, and that I don't have nothing to worry about because I already got a spot wherever I needed to have a spot at. And as long as I'm continuing to do his work here on earth, which is spreading love, laughs, this red lipstick that my man likes so much, and just happiness and good times, like, what else is there to do? I mean, what the fuck? Y'all want me to stop cussing and smoking weed and doing all this for what? Nigga, I love this shit. And it makes me who I am, and I'll never stop. I'll never be anybody more or anybody less than what I am right now. And I'm perfectly fine with that because it makes me feel good. Let me see. How long I've been on this shit? I got to get ready to go in a few minutes. But anyway, woo, y'all. I haven't been on here in a couple days because some bobblehead ass bitch been getting on my motherfucking nerves. And I'm going to just leave it at that. But the bitch is stupid and honestly probably illiterate. So that's not my fault. And I hope that she figures it out and figured it out and that she got it all figured out. And, yeah, we can go from there. One day I'll tell that story when it's not so fresh because I don't want, to go all into that. But my man is about to pick me up and we're about to go out somewhere. Actually, I know where we're going. We're going to his barbershop or something. They're having something up there. But anyway, not his barbershop that he goes to, but he actually works at a barbershop. Ooh. Okay, so that's that. I probably am going to end that right there. Let me wrap it all up. So those three things, or wait, that was the Kimora situation. That was the situation with Keon that was happening. And then the situation with my mom, right? And my sister, I guess I included that in. So that was three things that were literally all happening at the same time. When Kimora left and my mom came and picked her up, she went and took her to her house. And so I took Kimora's backpacks and her suitcases and I went over there and I threw them over her balcony. My mom called the police on me. And the police came to my house talking about, you trying to throw your mom in? I'm like, this lady is really cutting up. You know what I mean? Just hella bootsy. And yeah, so that was three things that was all going on in one little like conundrum of a day. Oh, and I'm gonna add one more little episode that happened on Halloween. So I used to live across the street from Kennedy High School, and I lived over there for 5 years. But this one last particular year that I lived there was just hella little motherfuckers fighting all the time, and I lived in the corner like unit, so I was right by the street. And so one day, these 30 niggas was jumping this one white boy, right? And I'm outside washing my car. And I'm like, nah, bro, y'all leave the nigga alone. And he like, oh, can I go call my mom? And I'm like, go call your mom, young man. And so these motherfuckers start coming after me. And I'm not exaggerating. It could have been more than 30. It was a mob of them motherfuckers. They look like zombies with their old funky ass. And well, not funky because they're children. You know what I mean? And honestly, they were just doing what kids do, to be honest. Just being hella disrespectful. Not my kids, of course, but them, somebody else's kids. But anyway, so I said, y'all leave back up. Y'all leave Justin alone. The shit's over. Get the fuck out of here. And they like, no, coming towards me. So this was Halloween. Keon's birthday's October 14th. I had just bought him an AK-47 for Christmas, for his birthday. He had put it on the wall. It was hanging up. I grabbed that motherfucker off the wall and went outside and was like, y'all better back the fuck up. Okay? And so they all took off running, obviously. And that was that. That next week, I sat outside all week to make sure nobody was fighting. I actually broke up another fight that week. But the one little nigga came and helped me with my groceries. The one other two little girls, they came and we was chit-chatting. I gave them some water or jacket. I seen the one little nigga at the Bel Air is, hi, Miss Stevens, how y'all doing? How you doing? The principal from the school across the street, Kennedy, Mr. Brown or whoever, emailed me and told me thank you for doing that. He said, I can only control what's going on over here, but I really appreciate having extra eyes in the community. The manager in my apartment complex, the manager, his name was Robert, he told me thank you. He said, them little motherfuckers, he said they were jumping on top of some people's cars. I told them to jump the fuck off. They jumped him. Some motherfucking kids jumped this old ass man. The manager of my complex, okay? And thirdly, a man that I never seen before in my life, some Mexican man, I forgot his name, knocked on my door and also told me thank you because them little motherfuckers had jumped his son on the bus the week prior. So I'm a hero. And I didn't hurt nobody. And I gave out candy and I went out there and I was showing them. Because I even had a conversation with the little Asian boy like, there wasn't no bullets in that gun. Nigga, it had a lock on it. I would never. I said, I'm scared of y'all niggas. I said, I'm only here to spread love and to make sure that you guys have a safe environment for the kids that don't want to be involved in that bullshit y'all got going on. Why are y'all doing that anyway? You know what I mean? So that was just an interesting story because I had never, like, to this day, I've been a registered gun owner for quite some time, and I've never even been to the range like that. Like, you know, oh no, I went to the range a couple times, but I've never shot it. I've never, like, shot anybody, pulled it out on anybody. Of course not. Come on now. But that was a time when it was, interestingly, accepted. And the campus monitor dude, because he was like, okay, so if the police come, let's not tell them that you had a gun. And I was like, nigga, I mean, you know what I mean? But this is how I live my life, and I'm going to end it here. Everything that I do, if in my mind and in my heart, comes from a loving place, and my intention is to do the right thing. I wasn't going out there flexing on them kids, obviously. I think I'm going to shoot y'all. Get y'all asses back, because you're not going to hurt me, you're not going to hurt Justin. And what y'all need to learn, you know, y'all need to, first of all, y'all need an ass whooping. And second of all, you're not going to flex on me ever. Nobody is. So that's just that, little niggas. So, and it worked out really good. And I feel like not only did it put a bug in the community's ear or these kids are like, don't do that around here, whatever, but I established legit bonds with some of those kids that felt close to me after that. You know what I mean? And I see these kids around town because they all go to Kennedy. There's no blood, there's no hard feelings. You know what I mean? And that's what the community needs. Not necessarily niggas pulling AKs on kids, but tough love. That's what we have none of. And obviously it's not happening at home or they wouldn't be acting like this. All right, speaking of which, my son is knocking on the door. What?
Can I put a shirt out?
No, you cannot. Come say hi to my people and then get the hell out of here. Say hi. This is my badass son named KJ. He's 10 years old. Now get out. All right, y'all. Until next time. Have a good night.